Alabama Crimson Tide. We told you they like to bring joy, Julie. And here's how this team will line up tonight.
A lot of smiles and a lot of fun. They're going to line up in a 4-4-2 with that 4 in the middle being in a diamond. And pay particular attention to Riley Parker. She is just crushing it this year. 17 goals, tied for 6th in the NCAA. And then behind her, Felicia Knox, 20 assists. That leads NCAA as well. And for UCLA, they're going to come together in a 4-3-3. And in the middle of their midfield is a player that's so much fun. Sunshine Fontes, 11 goals, 7 assists. And here we go.
UCLA, Alabama in our second game of the night. Not many empty seats for this one. Alabama in white, UCLA in blue. Off we go in our second semifinal of this 2022 Women's College Cup from Cary, North Carolina. Bruins starting off on the attack, trying to challenge that Alabama back line. As Knox, SEC Midfielder of the Year, had it on her foot for a moment. How much will she be able to dictate in the middle of the field for Alabama? We'll see. Lexi Wright trying to find some space on the outside for the Bruins to work with. Mark Kudlesic, our referee in the center for this match tonight. Alabama, 23 wins on the season to lead the nation in that category. UCLA right behind them with 20. And they are looking early to get down the field in a hurry. McKinley Crone coming out of her goal. She covers that ground so well for Alabama.
Really well done off her line because Raylan is so fast. Gets in behind, turns defenders.
Certainly an option there when UCLA wants to use it, and I don't know if any other player is more excited to come back here to the state of North Carolina than Raylan Turner. After UCLA early in the season came out to North Carolina and beat both Duke and North Carolina. What a huge statement that was. As Knox takes the shot, both goalkeepers called into action early.
And here is the Crone off her line. Raylan Turner with some pace on her. Even if Crone had hesitated another second, Turner would have been all over that one. And that's going to be a critical theme tonight for Crone. That front line for UCLA, Lexi Wright on the left side also gets in and spins defenders.
Foul this time against the Bruins. Marin Valencia, excuse me, whistled for the foul. Back line for Alabama, can't keep hold of it. Knox, 2 players around her, still finds a way out. Ashlyn Sarepka, player who joined the Crimson Tide last year after spending 3 years at the University of Virginia. 10 goals, 2 assists on the season for Sarepka. Little slip that time by Lexi Wright. Brooke Steer finds Parker for the first time. Ball let through by design. Too far out of the reach, though, of Turner. Back in the gloves of Crone. All right, Julie, let's get some keys to this match. Your Foudy's free kicks for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and this one for Alabama, so important for those outside backs to be aggressive on attack. So UCLA has to defend. They want those wingers and Lexi Wright and Marin Valencia having to defend so that they're not running in behind. And the second one, of course, for Alabama is set pieces. 19 goals this season in set pieces.
That's an incredible number, by the way. I mean, and that's just free kicks and corner kicks. I'm not tossing in the 5 penalty kicks that Alabama has also scored.
Not tossing in that.
I mean, it's a high-scoring team, so they've scored a lot of goals in the run of play as well, but that is a significant number.
We talked about Jenna Neiswanger in that first game for Florida State. Felicia Knox in this game, 20 assists to lead all of NCAA.
Ali Lemos, the freshman's had a great year for the Bruins. Right with the ball at her feet. Cuts it to her right, has a chance to get a shot off, and Crone a little busier maybe than she'd like to be here early. The grad transfer from Oklahoma.
And this is where Lexi Wright is so good. Loves to just pull inside, take him wide, pull inside, get in behind if she can with her speed. Not afraid to crank it from out wide.
Crone, by the way, is a graduate student, but this is her 3rd year with the Crimson Tide, so she has certainly made her mark there. In fact, #1 all-time at Alabama. A number of goalkeeping records, single-season wins set this season, shutouts. She's certainly the backbone of this defense, which may not be talked about quite as much as the Alabama offense, but has had to be good nonetheless to get this team here to this point. Jessica Skorka, one of those backs that loves to get up for Alabama.
I was just going to say that's someone we should be talking about a lot, because Jessica Skorka is a player that is going to paint that flank right there. Wear out that grass. She loves to get forward on that right side. And there she is defending. That's going to be a fun battle tonight between Lexi Wright and Skorka.
Wright, a sophomore out of Carlsbad, California. 7 goals, 6 assists on the season. Couple of goals in the NCAA tournament. Had a brace in UCLA's round 1 win over Northern Arizona. Knox always seems to know where she wants to go with the ball before it gets to her feet, and often does a great job of not only seeing it but getting it there. Crimson Tide pushing into the Bruins box. Just as fast, be ready to go the other way. Alabama fans loving the work defensively. Sasha Pickard. And the keys to an Alabama defense as well.
And you can see in these first 6, 7 minutes, really a battle for UCLA to create some rhythm. And what you're seeing from Alabama is you just want to press. They want to get higher. They want to win the ball higher. It's similar to a UNC tactic. But they also have the ability to slow the game down and play once they do win it. And that's what's impressed me the most. You saw them in the quarterfinal against Duke. Control it, fight for balls, win it, and then slow the pace down a little bit.
Macy Clem, that holding midfield spot, bottom of the diamond. Gets it forward to Riley Tanner, transfer from South Carolina. In her 2nd year with the Crimson Tide, 2nd team all SEC this season for number 12.
And as this diamond 4 for Alabama shifts, good look at it right there with the 4 diamond in midfield. There is a ton of space on that weak side, which Quincy McMahon is going to love to jump into.
Speaking of space, Wright is into it for UCLA. Crone with the save, Wright with the follow-up, and it's another save. McKinley Crone having to do all kinds of work to keep the Bruins out of the goal.
Oh, what a second save by Crone, because that felt like Lexi Wright was going to have a sitter in front of goal. And here's the first one. You see the space on that weak side. Lexi Wright with a pretty good first touch, maybe a little bit wide. Crone spills it, but it's the react kick save And this is really one that Lexi Wright is going to want back because she knows she should put that one away, and you're sitting 1-0 up in that first 10 minutes.
This may be a bit of the edge of the sword that Alabama lives on. As you said, they are who they are. They're gonna press and push, and at times maybe leave themselves a little exposed and require their goalkeeper to come up big. 3 saves already for Crone in this match. Knox. Reyes, SEC Defender of the Year. Nowhere to go but out for the corner. First of the match for either team. Alabama to take it, and we told you how dangerous they've been on set pieces. Well, let's see how the first one starts off as Felicia Knox makes her way to the corner. 13 goals off of corner kicks this season for Alabama, and Knox has done it all herself.
And this is the player in Riley Parker, number 10, who Knox is going to be looking for. There she is right in the middle of that 6, standing on the 6.
Punched away. Lauren Brisky with the first ball out, has to punch it again. Alabama still in possession. A lot of numbers up after that corner kick. Back to Steer, sophomore out of Dexter, Michigan. SEC all-freshman team, as in terms of eligibility, she is a freshman this year. All right, Julie, let's try to get a look at some of the keys to this match for the UCLA Bruins.
Well, I think that first one is you got to win the midfield battle. The 3 in midfield for UCLA are outnumbered by that diamond 4. But UCLA's midfield, when they control the tempo, they are humming, and so they want to win that midfield battle. And the second thing for UCLA, solve the press of Alabama, similar to what we talked about with that Florida State team and UNC. And what we've talked about already in the beginning here, Alabama's going to want to play a high-pressing, physical game, and UCLA is going to have to figure out how to solve it. Sometimes that means playing through it as they are now. Sometimes it's going long. Sometimes it's getting higher.
Quincy McMahon lost it. Serepka found herself going the wrong direction. Turner immediately with pressure on her back in the form of Pickard. Right. Turner, big collision with Steer. She is whipped around. Doesn't appear that we're going to see a card out of the pocket of Mark Kedlesik, but a free kick is coming.
And here is another look at it. Oh. As Turner wrapping her leg around, Steer gets it. Glad she's up and walking.
Raylan Turner, Jr., laying her body on the line for that one and setting up a really dangerous opportunity now from the free kick. Sunshine Fontes. Will she be the one to take it? She will drive it through, saved! And cleanly saved at that by Crone.
You can see the pace that Fontes can put on these balls though, and she is not afraid to get a hold of it in the run of play as well and crack them from wide. Crone already 15 in, having a big game.
Julie, can Alabama continue to live this dangerously? Not sure they know any other way. It's the way they like to play. And
it's very similar to the first half of our last game, isn't it? With Florida State pounding, pounding, pounding. And what happens? 1-0 UNC coming out of that half.
Fontes looking to send Turner through. Sorry. Skorka trying to pick out the right pass. She'll get it back. Knox calling for it. Said it's to Clem. Not too many touches yet for Parker, SEC Forward of the Year.
Get a sense on how Alabama shapes up those two center backs. Set a lot of play, and then Reyes on the left on the ball right now. Skorka on the right. They'll pinch in, they'll come in as Reyes is right now.
They have a lot of free reign, don't they?
Really active, and now here's your right back, and Skorka really active in the build-up.
This is Kat Rogers. Her captain's grad student in her 5th year with the Crimson Tide, been a big part of the way that this program has built over the last few years to get here. Knox spins it around, and nothing that Brisky can do on that one. Goes out of bounds, will be another corner, second of the match for Alabama.
Good patience by Alabama. They play, they pull. Then they find Knox on that wide side. She can do her magic. Getting another corner out of it. And again, Riley Parker, number 10, so good on these set pieces. 17 goals on the season.
Knox sets it up, but too close to Brisky.
And there's one of the ways you self-pressure. There's the long ball you don't see UCLA often use.
Macy Clem. It's a veteran Alabama team. She's a senior. A number of seniors, 5th-year seniors. Want to see this historic season continue for the Crimson Tide, a program that is only in its 5th ever NCAA tournament, and that picked up its first ever win just last year. And now here they are under the direction of their 8th-year head coach, Wes Hart, in the College Cup for the first time. Feeling like they're not done yet.
It was so interesting to hear Riley Parker say, now in her 5th year, say, I've watched the progression of this team from being 2-8 my freshman year and not even making it to the SEC tournament. Never mind the NCAA tournament. And now here we are in our first Final Four, setting the standard for what this program is.
Ball in the box, punched by Brisky. Parker having to miss last season with an injury, coming back to strengthen this team even more on their run this season. Another ball, wanting someone to get on the end of it.
And a little bit better coming into this second part of the first half. Active. And this is Brisky, who's so good in the air, deciding she doesn't want to hold. She's going to punch high and wide.
Goalkeepers could be the story of this one. We'll see how it continues on, but they both realize they're going to have a big role to play if these first 20 minutes are any indication. Lemos, Pac-12 freshman team selection this year. Now McMahon into the box, lays it on the ground. Turner takes her time, does get the shot off. Great patience in the box by Waylon Turner.
And again, that weak side, especially on UCLA's left side, is so open.
Maddie Desiano goes back to Turner.
Good sign for UCLA. McMahon, their left back, getting forward first, and now it was Desiano, their right back.
Marguerite Awazaza, Pac-12 Coach of the Year. First time ever that first-year head coach won that award, and perhaps more to come. First-year head coach, and by that I mean a coach not only the first year of program, but the first year ever as a head coach, has never won a national championship in women's soccer. That carrot still dangling for Awazaza, who came over after experiencing a couple of national championships as an assistant at Stanford.
Yeah, she said the first thing, I think my question to her was, what surprised you the most? And she said the buy-in on the defensive side, because our first 11v11 to scrimmage inter squad was 7-6, and I was like, oh boy. And she had a great quote, which I think every coach should write down. She said, we talk lots about the dichotomy of discipline and freedom. If not disciplined defensively, you can't be creative offensively. Many players want to compete for a championship, but are they willing to defend for one? Which I loved. And so that has been one of the things they have worked a ton on, because you always know about the creativity of UCLA.
Replaced by number 33, Allie Cook.
But do you want to defend for a championship?
Grad student Allie Cook, number 33, coming into the match, replacing Marin Valencia in the midfield for UCLA. There's Fontes. Great ball. Desiano. Wright has it at her feet. Dances around. Turner waiting for it. Takes the shot, but it's wide. That's some women's basketball coming your way. 21st Annual Women's Jimmy V Classic Sunday on ESPN2. Number 9, Virginia Tech taking on Tennessee. That's in Knoxville at 1 Eastern, noon Central. Then on ABC, number 7, Notre Dame hosting number 3, UConn at the Joyce Center. To donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research, go to v.org.
Gianna Paul in for Kat Rogers, and that changes the equation, because Gianna Paul will stretch a back line for Alabama. This is a player with a ton of pace and upside. So much fun to watch. SEC Freshman of the Year, 7 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah, she is a different kind of threat, and spark doesn't even seem to really be enough of a word to encompass what she brings off the bench when she comes into a match. Players say they all wait to hear the call from Coach Wes Hart on the sideline of release her. They have the green light to go to Paul pretty often, so we'll see how that may play out. Turner. Yeah, there's some pretty play to be had when these Bruins get a hold of the ball. Knox ever present around the ball for the Crimson Tide. But Alabama losing possession. Desiano chasing it down. Turner from distance, not too much difficulty to challenge Crone without shot. Time now to talk about everybody's favorite podcast, Laughter Permitted with Julie Foudy. Season 8.
Everybody's favorite.
8 seasons, Julie Foudy. That's impressive. Now available, ESPN app or Apple Podcast.
So fun. And they call this a job. Just gonna talk to cool chicks all the time.
And eat donuts.
Eat donuts.
Yeah.
Cool women.
Good combo.
A lot of laughter.
No score so far in this one. First semifinal was a little slow to get started too, but North Carolina, Florida State really amped up in the second half. First goal of that match came 3 minutes before halftime by the Tar Heels, who would wind up winning it 3-2. There's Turner. And actually, I feel like slow to get started does not describe what has happened in this match so far. There have been some chances and there have been some big plays, specifically by the goalkeepers.
Yeah, and definitely not slow to get started if you're number 66, Raylan Turner. She's already cranked about 6 on goal.
I told you about that incredible week UCLA and Turner had when they came here to the Triangle, took on the top 2 ranked teams in the country at the time, and number 2 Duke, number 1 North Carolina. Turner had the game winner in both. Shot from distance, no problem, says Crone, but keep adding to that save tally. UCLA would then ascend to number 1 in the country as a part of the best start in school history. They started 13-0. They were ranked number 1 for 9 straight weeks. In fact, only 3 teams all season long held that number 1 ranking. All 3 of them were here at the College Cup. North Carolina still alive, and Florida State, the other defending national champs, to be number 1 along with UCLA this year. McMahon got herself some space. Fontes lifted her head for a moment. Touch got away from her. There is Paul. We mentioned her speed. She was a terrific athlete in track and field, Gianna Paul, in Huntington Station, New York in high school, an All-American 2-time state champion, a 400 specialist, she told us, but never any doubt in her mind where her love lay, and that was on the soccer field.
Well done by Lily Reel. That is going to be a matchup as we close out this first half between Paul and Reel.
A lot of good ones looking around on this field with these 2 teams in their first ever meeting. Parker to Paul. Good little lean in. Just to keep it alive. Knox looking toward the goal, trying to set up Parker, the diving header! No, says the referee, the offside flag. Dashing the hopes, killing the joy, at least for now, of the Crimson Tide. Oh my.
We'll get a look at that, but you see the disappointment in Parker's eyes. Oof, hard to tell from this angle. Looks like she's leaning in. We've seen this every day with FIFA World Cup. We don't have the graphics to back it, but those stink anyway, so who needs those? But you can see that one is close. That one is real close. And that is the potential with Felicia Knox on the ball. Spins out of pressure, finds a little gap, finds Riley Parker on that back post.
I think these 2 teams are fun to watch. I mean, that was a highlight shot in the making there, and that combination has been so lethal all season long. Knox, Parker, the partnership they have formed to lead this Alabama Crimson Tide team. Reyes, unafraid to get forward, get wherever she wants, really. She may be the SEC Defender of the Year, but she does quite a lot in the attack. Bodies flying all over the place. An Alabama ball. Right, gets past a couple of Crimson Tide defenders. Clem there to clean it up.
Macy Clem sitting in the 6, tackling, battling. What a season she's had. Offering 4 goals and an assist as well.
Jackie Gilday getting the start in the midfield for UCLA tonight. Just her 5th start of the season, first start of this NCAA tournament. Just brings stability in that midfield, number 27 for the Bruins. Helps win this free kick. Quick turn for Lemos. McMahon had a couple forays into the area. Goes left this time. In front of the goal, and UCLA, the team to strike first. Turner ready and waiting. McMahon with the delivery. Turner with the goal.
It was attempt after attempt for UCLA outside from deep. Crone was all over that, and it wasn't until McMahon turns the corner, gets to the inline. What a nice little move here. And then to have the presence of mind to find the seam once she gets to that inline. Turner waiting in the gap. Skorka caught on that outside. And there is the tap-in for Raylan Turner.
I'll mark this moment not only for the goal, of course, but remember that it happened 3 minutes after Alabama had a goal called back for offside.
Goals scored by number
2
66,
absolutely critical
Raylan
moments
Turner.
of this first half so
Assisted
far.
by number 19,
UCLA
Quincy
Bruins
McMahon.
taking the
The goal
lead.
scored in the 30th minute. 66 Turner from 19 McMahon in the 30th minute.
And that is the danger of Quincy McMahon from that left side. So much speed, and then able to get around the corner, find the player.
And whether it's been Turner or Wright, there have been opportunities in the box for UCLA. Turner making good on the last one. Paul now centering ball. Turner playing provider this time to Wright. And Paul tracking back to help defend.
Great defensive work by Paul. Coming all the way back to put some pressure on Lexi Wright, who we know can bust free. Has the pace to do that.
Once again, McMahon causing problems. Fontes looking to the other side. Desiano with her left foot. And Wright is a bit too wide open. She's offside.
That ball in by Maddie Desiano, right back. We've been talking about McMahon on the left, also on the right, number 11 for UCLA. What a story that has been for her this year, because coming back from 2 ACL tears, 3 surgeries for Maddie Desiano, and able to close out her final year healthy and playing great.
Skorka.
And she's the San Clemente kid.
Oh, wow.
So there's 3 of them on this team, my little town.
Parker crosses. Paul sticks out a foot, knocked to the ground. The referee is putting the whistle back behind the play. Bring the ball. It's going to go for an Alabama free kick, I believe. There may be a UCLA player that needs to be looked at. A couple of personnel have come out from the UCLA bench.
It's Jaden Perry, the center back. Plays alongside Lily Reel. Looks like they're sliding Desiano into that center back position for now.
Now Perry appears to be all right. Sophomore, Rancho Santa Margarita, California. And the ball back in play, and Perry is indeed back on the field. Bruins playing with the lead. They've been perfect when scoring first this season, 18-0. Alabama, meanwhile, it's the first time they have conceded first in the NCAA tournament. Had to go to overtime in their last match against Duke to make it here. But they led in that game. Clem. A lot of dancing around to get the look, but unable to get much behind it. The coverage of NCAA championships will continue. The Women's College Cup Final, that's Monday, December 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA Women's College Cup, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Of course, no team has won more women's soccer national championships than the North Carolina Tar Heels, 21 in the NCAA, and one more before the NCAA started playing and competing for women's soccer championships. And Tar Heels back in the final for the first time since 2019. They'll take on the winner of this match.
Remarkably, though, UNC hasn't won in a decade. 2012 the last time, so it will be interesting to see, given the dominance of that program for so long. Going a decade for Anson Dorrance is an eternity. He's not going to be happy about that.
There's a hunger to this North Carolina team. We've seen all season long. Their disappointments last season, missing the ACC tournament for the first time ever, knocked out first round of the NCAA tournament. Looking for the ultimate revenge, and persistent infringement, I believe, will be the cause for that yellow card to have been brought out. Gianna Paul, the guilty party.
The yellow card is shown to Alabama's number 14, Gianna Paul.
UCLA doing a good job of forcing Alabama to chase a little more than they'd like.
And really the secret sauce to Alabama's success is their ability to cause some chaos defensively. And UCLA able to spread the field enough, keep a hold of it, neutralizing that press and the chaos created by it.
Substitution.
Riley Parker,
Alabama.
Herman semifinalist.
Number 19.
Kept quiet so far, had the one goal called back.
Number 9.
As Sarepka makes her way off, and Aislinn Streisig, number 9, on for Alabama in the attack. All right, got the better of Skorka that time around. One of those matchups you've been keeping an eye on tonight, Julie. McMahon had the assist on the game's only goal so far, finding Turner. He's in the 30th minute. You know, when we talked to these Alabama players yesterday, they told us that don't let As nation leading 23 wins and a perfect regular season in the SEC make you think we have not been tested, that we've not faced adversity. They have. They talked about the tough matches they've had throughout the year, having to come off that loss in the SEC championship to South Carolina before going on this run to make it here to the College Cup.
Yeah, in just a game before this. And here is the Turner goal as she gets substituted out. Let's take another look at this one. What a beauty it is. Set up so perfectly by McMahon on that left side. Turner just finding a little seam, finds herself wide open. And it is an easy tap in with McMahon getting around and finding that wonderful seam.
You could feel the opportunities coming for UCLA, that they had been putting themselves in good positions, and the Bruins doing a nice job of finding those players. Remember Lexi Wright had that one-on-one, McKinley Crone, that she was unable to put away earlier in the first half.
Back to the trying times for Alabama. They go up 2-0 just in this last game to get in here against Duke, seemingly game in hand.
And then Michelle Cooper happens.
Yeah, and then Michelle Cooper happens. And I remember watching it going, wait, what just happened? Really, like 2 looks on goal and boom, Duke is back in it. And they responded really well. Didn't panic, weren't frustrated for as much of the game as they had.
Parker tried to put enough spin on that ball to keep it in play, but unable to do so as it rolls out of bounds. What a year Riley Parker has had, huh? Formerly Riley Mattingly. We got the whole story for the SEC Forward year. I said, how exactly does it come about? Here you are, you're a grad student, 5th year, married. Well, it was right.
It was fantastic. We just kept going too. I want to meet John. I feel like I know him really well.
Well,
we'll find John in the stands, her husband.
He's called the team dad by the team, and apparently when she was, 17 years old, was it? He wanted to ask her dad a couple years ago for her hand in marriage, and Dad's words were, why don't we wait till she graduates?
Settle down, John.
So she did graduate, but remember she had that injury last year, and she was out for the season, which meant she got a chance to come back. Foul in the middle of the field. And UCLA will get ready to set up the free kick. Under 5.5 to play in our first half. Bruins in the lead. Real, the Pac-12 Defender of the Year. Sending it forward. Now Lemos. Ball over the top, but nobody close enough to make it dangerous for Alabama.
And here is the challenge for Alabama in the second half is you've got so much creativity and skill on the ball in those 3 in midfield, in particular Lemos and Sunshine Fontes. Gilday in there earlier, such a calming force as well. How are you going to get pressure on the ball? How are you going to disrupt the rhythm of UCLA? And in turn, get Felicia Knox on the ball. Riley Parker a little more engaged in this game.
Both teams making a couple of changes. Parker will get a little rest here for these final 4 minutes of the first half.
Get Riley Tanner, number 12, even more engaged on that left side of the diamond in midfield. Such a good player that loves to run. Loves to run at players. Saw her get a service in early, but really haven't seen much from Alabama in the second half of this first half.
Sydney Vincent's, Sydney Yapich, the two coming on, both for Alabama. That last substitution. Paul. Paul calling for it back. Skorka looking the other way. Vincent's just unable to get out of the way of the ball, but it continues forward for the Crimson Tide. Cross through, handled by the Bruins. Entertaining first half, to be sure. Alabama thinking they had taken the lead in the 27th minute. No goal, though, as the offside flag came up. And then 3 minutes later, Raylan Turner putting it home from close range to give UCLA the lead in the 30th. No whistle for a foul. Ball just goes out of bounds as Tanner went down.
There is Maddie Desiano, who we were talking about before, with 2 ACLs, 3 surgeries. Coming back to have a fantastic season.
One of the leaders, to be sure, on this UCLA team, Desiano. Which you would expect, her parents, both teachers and college athletes and coaches. Coming up at halftime, in case you missed any of the action from our first semifinal, a 3-2 win for North Carolina over the defending champs Florida State. We'll look back at that. Also have our V-Week call to action and look back on our first half. Bruins trying to hang on to this lead, make their way to the final on Monday night, take on the Tar Heels. UCLA does have one national championship in their program history. Came right here on this field in 2013.
I do find it funny that Marguerite, I was also the coach for UCLA. She's just chilling on the sideline there. First year as head coach. Doesn't seem real stressed. She's like, yeah, I'm good.
Not let the moment get to her. I think that was the conversation really with both of these teams. UCLA has certainly been on this stage more. It's their 12th College Cup, 3rd in the last 6 years. And for Alabama, well, their eyes didn't seem too wide in their first time ever in the College Cup.
10, 9,
but it is
8,
UCLA
7,
who will hang on to the lead 1-0 after our first 45 minutes. Raylan Turner's goal in the 30th, the difference so far.
And I thought Raylan Turner in that first half, constantly getting in behind, creating problems for that back line of Alabama. Will be interesting to see the adjustments, if any, for Alabama.
Well, we are now joined by UCLA head coach Marguerite Awazaza. And Marguerite, we were just talking about how relaxed you look over there on the sideline. Is that just typical demeanor for you, even in a big game like this?
Yeah, for the most part, I stay pretty calm. I'm kind of one of those, I try to be like, when the craziness is happening, I feel like I'm the one that needs to settle things down. So there you go.
What did you think of that first half, Coach, and what do you want to see for the second?
I was pleased with the first half. I thought early on we had some chances. I wish we would have put them away, but I was glad we got one. We got to figure out a little bit our defensive shape and kind of what we want to do with that, but overall really pleased.
Well, we'll let you get to your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a UCLA team that prides itself on being adaptable, handling any situation. Well, the one they need to handle right now hanging on to a lead. It is 1-0 UCLA leading Alabama in our second NCAA semifinal. Back in Cary, North Carolina, moments away from the start of our second half between Alabama and UCLA. Before we get there, let's bring in Alabama head coach Wes Hart. Wes, what was your message to the team at halftime?
Yeah, I thought they had too easy of a time, finding their central midfielders, whether it was our weak side of the diamond not pinching in, whether it was our forward not helping out with one of their sixes. But when they're able to find their six and switch the point of attack, and then they're getting their outside backs forward, that's caused us problems. So we need to do a little bit better job of denying easy balls into their sixes.
Yeah, what do you do tactically to change for that? Or is it just getting higher up the field?
Yeah, I think, getting a bit more pressure to the ball, but also, one of those forwards, we don't want to, our forwards, locked onto their center backs. We need our forwards helping discourage balls into the six as well as the weak side of the diamond in there.
Wes, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Alabama Crimson Tide in their first ever College Cup. And look, they had to go late to get a goal in their quarterfinal to get here, taking on Duke last Friday on their home field. They had goals from Gianna Paul in the second half, 68th minute. That made it 1-0. First goal of the match, and then Ashlyn Sarepka added another 2-0, but Michelle Cooper scores two quick ones for Duke. It took overtime, and Reyna Reyes with a game winner in the 98th minute. So this Alabama team has been tested and have proven they can come back and get a late one if they need it.
Yeah, and you feel there is a ton of fight in this team, especially Reyna Reyes at that left back position right next to her, Sasha Pickard. Two seniors that know and have been, maybe not in this type of setting before College Cup, but they have lived it. And there is a ton of fight in those two in particular.
A veteran Alabama Crimson Tide team chock full of seniors, fifth-year seniors, who know they have already made history this record-setting season for the Crimson Tide. But they want a little more. Riley Parker, her goal called back in the 27th minute for offside. Team's ready to go for the second half. UCLA in the blue, Alabama in white. Off we go, 45 minutes left to find out who will face North Carolina in the national championship game on Monday. Gilday. Felicia Knox sent to the ground. That is a foul against Gilday and the Bruins. Drew, you talked a lot about that midfield and how Alabama needed to do a better job there. Exactly what Wes Hart echoed when we spoke to him just a few moments ago. Cannot let players like Fontes on the ball now for UCLA get in the rhythm they want through the midfield. Mary Carmen Reyes getting the start in the second half. Played for the Mexican national team. Sarepka. Parker has a chance to go one-on-one here. Gets a little help. Coming down her left-hand side. Goes there with Tanner. Back across. Just missing the corner. What a golden opportunity for Alabama to start this second half.
And everyone you want to see on the ball, from Riley Parker to Riley Tanner. Oh, just missed it. Tanner. Good sign, though, when she's getting forward from that left side.
Crimson Tide have been good in the second half in the NCAA tournament. 8 goals in their last 3 games, coming after halftime. Including 3 in that quarterfinal we just showed you to get past the Duke Blue Devils here to the College Cup. Steer and Pickard, two central defenders for Alabama. Now over SEC Defender of the Year, Reina Reyes. Another player with some experience with the Mexican national team. Just mentioned, saw that on the other side with the other Reyes, no relation, Mary Carmen. Still a great crowd here. Sellout, we knew for sure for that first game. North Carolina playing just down the road as they took on Florida State. Sent the Seminoles home. Reyes saw a seam in the middle for Tanner, and is saved. Turner came flying through there for UCLA. I think I said Tanner, excuse me. Raylan Turner came flying through, looked like she was about ready to add another.
What a bowl this is, and then that first touch. Oh my goodness. Crone there with a hand save. But that would have been a sequence for UCLA.
First corner kick for the Bruins of the match. Let's see what they do with it. Steer heads it out. First to follow up, it is still in the box. Not cleared yet by Alabama. Finally the ball put out of the Bruins doubling up the Crimson Tide on shots in this game now, 13-6 in favor of UCLA. Bruins ready to go again. Mary Carmen Reyes hopping onto it. Another corner after none in the first 45 minutes. Two quick ones here.
And it was Mary Carmen Reyes that actually played that ball. And here's Lemos winning it in midfield. And look at this pinged ball in. What a nice ball. Turner just lifts it a little too much. Had she slotted it in, I think you have Crone beat.
Another follow-up. Tell you what, Desiano is ready out there. I think that's when she brings out that mad dog attitude a little bit. She's talked about that, but sometimes the mad dog has to come out, and she's ready to pick up those second balls that fall to her off the corner kicks. Fifth year at UCLA, in her graduate year now. There's Desiano on the ball again. Fontes is through into the box and open. Across it goes.
I think Fontes was caught between two minds. Do I crank this or do I just pull it across? And how often this season have we seen her just crank it? I think that's one. It's a great ball in by Maddie Desiano. And here she's looking, and I think in the end she's like, nah, I'm gonna pull it across. But I think she could have cranked that one on Crone.
Knox. As I know you've been really impressed, Julie, getting a chance to see Sunshine Fontes. And people wondering, is she gonna get back to that form? She had an ACL injury her senior year in high school, had a tremendous career. You know, she's the U.S.'s all-time leading scorer at the U17 level.
24 goals, yeah. And this is such a smart player.
Lemos finding right this time, right? Stops, cuts it again. Was there a handball? Nobody calling for it, no whistle blown, so we'll say no. Still UCLA wanting the shot, they get it in the goal!
Go UCLA!
Quincy McMahon set up. Turner in the first half takes this one herself.
And what a game the left back is having. Wins the ball back. Little touch here, and it's the deflection that gets Crone off the leg. Here it is on Brooke Steer's steps. There's Clem who also steps, and a bit unlucky for Alabama, as Macy Clem stepping, and then that deflection gets by Crone, and it's 2-0 to a very dominant Bruin side.
UCLA surely feeling good now. Just the third goal of the season, but the second of this NCAA tournament for Quincy McMahon, all Pac-12 first-team selection, just a sophomore. An All-American in high school, Gatorade Player of the Year out of Indiana. That's only the most recent state that she's lived in. Has lived in 8 different states. That's what happens when your dad is a football coach. Her dad, Tom, special teams coordinator with the Las Vegas Raiders at the moment. Joined that team in February. Been with 6 teams over the last 15 years in the NFL. And now the Tide really facing a steeper uphill climb.
And so much of UCLA's dominance has been that midfield controlling the pace, the tempo. Here they are again. Hard to believe Ali Lemos, number 10, sits in the 6. One didn't ever play in the 6 growing up. And second, that she's a freshman. Started every single game for UCLA this year. Her and Lily Reel have been the consistent force up the spine of this team. And Alabama unable to get any pressure, disrupt any of their ribbon between Fontes and Lemos. Gilday in midfield.
You just get the feeling, though, that this Alabama team is going to have something more to say in this match, but right now they've got to get a hold of things in the middle of the field. Desiano weaving her way back and forth, takes it with her left! Desiano leaving her mark on the match!
Goal! UCLA!
Oh my goodness. Maddie Desiano, have yourself a shot there. Could have gone wide. Instead, she takes that critical touch inside. Look at this. She could have gone straight down to the end line. Instead, cuts it in, puts it on her left foot. No way Crone's getting to that one. Reaching for it. And that is a beauty. For the 5th-year senior to come back from what she's been through. Lots of joy on that Bruin sideline.
Less than 2 minutes between those 2 goals for UCLA. Meanwhile, Alabama down 3. They haven't faced even a 2-goal deficit this entire season.
The goal comes unassisted in the 54th minute. 11, Desiano, unassisted for the Bruins in the 54th minute. Substitution for Alabama following the goal.
Not afraid to take matters into her own hands for the Crimson Tide.
Replaced by number 14, Gianna Hall.
Mary Carmen Reyes. Now Gilday. And remember, the message, the first thing that Marguerite Aouzaza wanted to instill in this program when she took it over this year was disciplined defending. Can they do that now against a team that scored more than any other team in the country this season and keep Alabama at bay? Hang on, get to that national championship game. Both teams, as I said, talked about playing with joy. There's some more of it. Reyes back to Desiano. Fontes. Paul into the match for Alabama. All hands on deck. It's Crimson Tide. Need to make something happen. Parker to Tanner now in the area. Tanner on the end line in front of the goal. Hit a Bruin player instead of one in white. And most of this Alabama team may be new to the NCAA stage, but Riley Tanner played 3 years at South Carolina. Actually set a record there. Scored in 3 straight NCAA tournament games back in 2019. He should bring a little bit of that magic to this one tonight.
And we saw in the first game, North Carolina taking a 3-0 lead, and that game suddenly flipped on its head. We'll see if Alabama has some similar magic.
This is a good way to find it. The SEC Forward of the Year, Parker!
Great save by Brisky, coming off her line, cut down the angle. Because this is exactly where Alabama wants to be, with Riley Parker facing goal. And it's Brisky with the big save.
First corner kick of the second half. Not where Hawks wanted it to go. They don't call her Brick Wall Brisky for nothing, Jim. Great nickname for a goalkeeper, to be sure.
Brisky. We learned that one yesterday.
We did. You know what else we learned? Brisky's a two-sport athlete.
Yes.
UCLA, we can call her that now. Told us the story. It's her 6th year at UCLA, but a couple of years ago, the softball team should put a message out looking for other collegiate athletes. They had some injuries, they needed some pinch runners. Brisky showed up and asked everybody to say what sport they played, what position, and she said goalkeeper. And she said, you got a couple funny looks, because pinch runner, your main asset has to be speed. She said, hey, I'm explosive. She got out there. I think they told her she did eventually score a run. And by the way, the UCLA softball team that year in 2019 won a national championship. She was a phone call away, she felt, from going to Oklahoma City. But they got some players healthy, so she didn't get to go, but still a pretty cool experience. Yeah, that's good. Now trying to win one of her own here on the soccer field, and UCLA in good shape to do so, up 3 on Alabama. You can see why Gilday, they trust so much there in the midfield. Just calm under pressure.
Jackie is her first name. They call her Jackie of all trades.
You busted out all the nicknames we learned yesterday now. Paul.
I do think there is some life left in this Alabama team for sure. I think the biggest challenge for them is they have got to close the distance and make it a little bit more compact for that 3 in midfield. Look at all the time Fontes has on the ball, Lemos has on the ball. Just can't get any pressure on ball.
They deliver balls like this. Crone has to come out and make the play. We know she's good with her feet. She's good with the body too, as needed. Yeah, there is just so much comfort, I would say, for the UCLA players in the middle of the field right now. They're having their way, and they look for moments like this, and the timing off a bit, but when you have the threat of a Raylan Turner there in the middle of the field, and you've got the time to deliver the ball, I mean, that's really putting a defense under some pressure. Tanner. Knox. Led the nation in assists this year, Amanda Knox. And nobody even chasing after it there for Alabama. Wind out of the sails a bit, this Crimson Tide team needing to find it again. Ball in the area, Knox a quick touch. And we have seen both sides of that goal missed by just a couple inches in this half for the Crimson Tide.
What a good throw in. Right away to get Skorka all the way in, just off the throw in. She's able to fight off
Entering
defender,
number 26,
and
Bridget
that
Marin
one
Valencia, and number 33, Allie Cook.
screamed just wide.
Now, by the way, those 19 goals off of set pieces for Alabama this year, one of those did come off a
Alabama
throw-in.
substitution leaving the
Those
match.
count.
Number 19, Ashlyn Sarepka, replaced by number 9, Eastlyn Streisand.
Sarepka coming off, Streisand coming on. Saw that in the first half for Alabama. Meanwhile, Allie Cook also on for UCLA, along with Marin Valencia. Desiano. Good patience and touch. Sophia Cook couldn't keep possession for UCLA.
Sophia Cook, what a freshman year she's had.
Looks like we're going to have a card here. Go against UCLA, and Desiano getting booked.
A yellow card shown to UCLA's number 11, Madeline Desiano, in the 62nd minute.
Pretty calm and relaxed, as we've seen most of this match for Awazaza.
There is the Desiano booking.
Just coming behind the play. Eventually did commit the foul. Crimson Tide trying to imprint on this match some of their styles, some of this swagger that they've had all season, the way they attack and press. Now try to counter press. They win it back. Paul couldn't keep her feet. Still, UCLA in possession. Now the Crimson Tide will get a chance to reset. You have to be disciplined defensively to be able to be creative and free in the attack.
Offensively.
Been the message
The
for UCLA.
dichotomy. You know, the other important message that I just find that every wise coach you talk to, it resonates with them. Becky Hammond recently had a conversation with her on the podcast, is the sense of joy in a program and enjoying it. And Marguerite said, coach of UCLA, Awazaza, said, look, let's just enjoy this and have fun and not grip. And there she is chilling on the sidelines.
I think you talked about remembering that feeling and really
Oh,
appreciating
yeah.
that and being able to play with that joy. It's sometimes so hard to not let the moment and the occasion overwhelm you.
Yeah, and she said, I just keep saying to them, it's just the same as it always is. Let's enjoy it. And that's what it looks like this UCLA team is doing.
3 goals certainly help. You relax a little bit and play a little more confident. They'll get a corner kick here. Misplay by the Crimson Tide. 3rd corner of the match for UCLA.
Number 10, Emily Lemos will take a corner kick for UCLA.
Ali Lemos from the corner. Still in play. Real. Reyes. Parker having to come way deep to get it for Alabama. Knox saying, let's go. I think that was the release ball that was intended, but not in a place where Gianna Paul could make something of it. UCLA looking for more. Knox now with some time and decisions to make. Good recovery by Lemos. Let's see why the freshman has been so important to UCLA this season. 1 of 2 to start every match for the Bruins. Leads the team in assists.
And there, as we discussed just a little bit earlier, Sophia Bush, I didn't finish that thought. Another freshman. 7 goals, 4 assists. Sorry, Sophia Cook. 7 goals, 4 assists for UCLA this season. A nice option to have off the bench.
Crimson Tide trying to find their way into this match and disrupt the rhythm of the Bruins. Serepka getting set to come back in.
Feels like the ability to play and ping the ball is just deflated, this Alabama team. They've got to get back in there and scrap it. Get some life back into this game, some energy. Start pressing higher, a little bit more compact.
I need to be who they are, right? I mean, they said they don't know any other way to play. And UCLA has absolutely just refused to give the Crimson Tide that option in this match. Players in and out. Parker on the bench at the moment for Alabama. Serepka came back on. Sydney Yapich on the ball now, freshman out of Frisco, Texas. Also coming back into the match. Ball taken away. There is Sophia Cook, freshman you just talked about. Putting everybody back on their heels. The shot is deflected off an Alabama player. Crone will do her best to get there and does avoid having to face another corner.
Great glimpse at the pace and the impact and the confidence from a freshman. See it both in Lemos and Sophia Cook as well.
I mean, Cook had such a huge moment in the quarterfinal game winner against the Virginia Cavaliers in overtime to get UCLA here to the College Cup. Now it will be a corner for the Bruins. 4th of the match, all 4 of those coming since halftime.
Number 10, Allie Lemos will take a corner kick for UCLA.
Look at those socks on Lemos, by the way. I love when you asked about, like, what are those?
I had to ask because my 15-year-old at home, Izzy, we go to the UCLA games quite often. And she said, Mom.
Header, save, continue, because you got to hear this. You have to hear why.
Mom, she cuts her shot socks. I said, I think her calves just bust out of them myself. And so she was walking out yesterday and I noticed them. I was like, Allie, do you cut those or are your calves just busting out? She was, I cut them because my socks are too small.
The word from her coach, Awazaza, was they have to let her calves breathe.
Yeah. She said, if you go up a size, then they get all like scrunched. They're too big in her actual boot.
Small feet, big calves, right? It's a soccer player for you.
Soccer girl problems.
Call going against the Crimson Tide. And you could say not Alabama's match tonight. They've had a few close ones. And I want to remind you, coverage of our NCAA championships continue. The Women's College Cup Final. Don't want to miss that one. Monday, December 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA Women's College Cup, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. You can bet North Carolina watching this one tonight. They'll face the winner at the moment. That is UCLA with the advantage, 3-0 over the Crimson Tide. But I was saying, Alabama, it has not been their game tonight. However, remember, they had a goal called back for offside in the first half, and then they missed each corner of the goal in the second half by inches.
Yeah, Brisky save on Riley Parker as well. That was a huge save.
And what this Alabama team is used to is just continuing to attack and attack in waves. I mean, they average over 20 shots per game, just 8 tonight so far.
And I credit UCLA for sucking the life out of this game, because when you possess as they can, all of a sudden that press, when it's not coming and it's not causing the disruption and the turnovers and the transition that Alabama lives on, it's a very different game.
Paul trying to buy herself some space, hold off the defenders there in the middle of the field.
I will just say, note the contrast in styles with UNC up 3-0. Mind you, Florida State is going to put more pressure on you, but I mean, I think this is a page. UNC is not going to play like this, of course. They're not built, that's not their DNA, but I think they can do a better job of closing out games, making it a little less stressful for their back line as they close out games.
Yeah, North Carolina really had to face an onslaught from the Seminoles after they went up, what was it, the 66th minute? Up 3-0, and then Florida State just slow starting in the second half. 2 goals to come back into that game. It was 3-2 with about 15 minutes to go, but North Carolina was able to hang on. Tar Heels were #1 in the country when they suffered a loss to the Bruins in the regular season on their home field. Will we get a chance for revenge for the Tar Heels? Awazaza called that a dress rehearsal for her team, that trip to North Carolina. And when they got on the plane, they said to themselves, let's make sure we do everything we can to get back here to North Carolina. And here they are. They did just that, getting back to the College Cup. Now UCLA, 3 goals in this one, in control.
Yeah, and McMahon on that left side, finding Turner in the seam, wide open, first goal. And then McMahon again picking this one up, takes a touch, and it's deflection off Clem. Macy Clem for the second, and then Maddie Desiano, look at that beauty, upper V from the right back.
UCLA.
And that puts it at 3-0 as Riley Parker comes back into the match in what could be her final 16 minutes of her collegiate career.
Had to sit out last season with injury. Now a Herman semifinalist. Has set a single season record, Riley Parker at Alabama, and this her 5th year in points, goals, tied for first in the country in game-winning goals.
She has had a season, and has really put this program on her back.
Sophia Cook. On the other side is Alabama Streisig trying to find a way through that UCLA defense.
Alabama substitution, leading the match was number 14,
Cook finding an outlet on the outside.
Number 10, Riley Parker.
And there's a foul after the fact. And that'll be another card to come out of the pocket.
You can see the frustration.
Yapich, the player booked for Alabama.
Bridget Marin Valencia running at that back line. UCLA having its way.
Just seems Alabama has had such difficulty just disrupting the flow when UCLA has come down and made their way through the midfield and gotten into the attacking third, and now they're going to have to face this. And interesting, not many in the wall there for Alabama. But that's not going to cause a problem for McKinley Crone and company.
The yellow card was shown to Alabama's number 24, Sydney Yapich.
Let's tell you about this weekend's featured college football lineup. Conference Championship Saturday begins at noon Eastern on ABC with the Big 12, Kansas State, TCU, and then UCF and Tulane squaring off for the American title. Prime time, it is 8th-ranked Clemson taking on number 17 North Carolina in the ACC Championship game. And Sunday, ESPN, noon Eastern, will have the exclusive reveal of the final college football playoff rankings.
Number 15, Kevin Rogers. Into it, number 3, Brooks
Tanner.
Steele. And number 8, Felicia Knox.
Still with it, Tanner. Wanted to go back again to her left.
Number 24, Mary Carmen Reyes. And number 34,
Good team
Allie Cook.
defending there by the
Replaced by number
Bruins.
17, Lexi Wright. And number 66, Raylan Turner.
Under 14 to play, just about.
Substitution
Raylan
for
Turner.
UCLA. Number
Been
11,
impactful once again for UCLA tonight, helping the Bruins to this 3-0 lead. Had the first goal of the match back in the 30th. Desiano will come off here. Big smile on her face, as you could imagine. Boy, what this means to her. You talked about the injuries, the time she had to sit out, the doubt she had if she would ever be able to get back and have an opportunity for a moment like this. And then not only is she here, but she added a goal. Highlight moment to be.
Cracker of a goal.
Yeah.
I might have just kept running to the locker room and been like, I'm done.
Mic drop.
Yep. That's all I got.
That may be enough. Hers was the last of the 3 in the 54th minute, and then the defense has done the work since then, keeping the Crimson Tide at bay. Knox. Streisig. Back to Knox, so it's time to deliver, and does. Reyes. When Alabama needs to push and chase, you'll often see Reyes further and further up the field as needed.
You love the spirit of this Alabama team. And I am sad for them today because you haven't seen it in full force, but what a season they have had.
Had to do a lot more defending tonight than they'd like, as Marin Valencia Has the ball at her feet again, edge of the area for UCLA. But Alabama, first ever College Cup, #1 seed for the first time. SEC regular season champs for the first time. Made it to the SEC final for the second time in program history. 17 records set this season in a number of categories. I mean, it has been a special year regardless of what happens here tonight, but certainly they were hoping for a better showing than what they've been able to put forth so far.
Yeah, and then to put it even more perspective, they didn't get their first NCAA tournament win until last year. And that was the first time they'd ever gotten past the first round. And then they lost in the second round. But they were like, hey, but we won one. And now this year, they go on this run with a very veteran-laden team. A lot of seniors, fifth-year seniors, juniors. And what Wes Hart has built in his 8 years. And the standard that they all talk about that now is Alabama soccer is something that they always are going to have.
Now, this is no overnight success story, as anyone who's been following this program would tell you, and as Wes pointed out to us yesterday when I was asking him just about the story of this team this season and how they got here. I mean, this has been building, as we talked about all the seniors, fifth-year seniors, who all are back this year, and then you add in a freshman like Gianna Paul, and you bring Riley Parker back from injury. I mean, this team was set up for success, and full credit to this group for the season they've had. How might this match have been different had that goal not been called back for offside from Parker in the 27th minute? Who knows? Perhaps it's still a moment to be had for Alabama. Shot off the left foot is saved. Streisik taking the shot for the Tide.
Well done by Streisik, and good clean hands by Brisky, because in that traffic, hard to see where it's coming from.
And Brisky's had a good game, hasn't she? Brick wall.
Well, Brisky.
5 saves. This is the third team she's been on that's been to a College Cup, but the first one she has played in. 17 and 2019, she was on those rosters, or at least at UCLA, but not the starting goalkeeper. She's a 3-time all-conference, third year as a full-time starter. And clearly that is some frustration from Tanner, just trying to hurry and get the ball back. Reaching around the UCLA player to do so. A little bit of a simmer down conversation from the referee.
Here's the other nice thing about this for UCLA is they've been able to manage some minutes, get that extra day of rest, with the final being on Monday rather than Sunday. But still being able to possess the ball, make the other team chase, largely dictate the tempo of this game for a good 70 minutes of the 90 at least.
UCLA substitutions.
On cue, more changes coming now.
And number 26, Valencia. Entering number 13.
Emma Jeezy, one of the two to come on. Marin Valencia going off for the Bruins. DeFazio, the other player to make her way into the match. Janae DeFazio, senior for the Bruins. high boot that time. We'll give the ball back to Alabama. UCLA staring down a spot in Monday's final against the North Carolina Tar Heels. Would be the 6th time in program history UCLA has made it to the final. And on that run to the Bruins' only national championship back in 2013, they won it here in Cary, North Carolina at Wake Med Soccer Park. They beat North Carolina in the quarterfinal that year before beating Florida State in the national championship game.
As we get to the 5-minute mark, if we were to spin this forward, assuming the score stays like this, you look at UCLA versus UNC. UNC, the last time they won, just to your point, Jen, was in 2012. UCLA, last time, 2013. One title for UCLA, 21 for UNC. Little bit of a difference there. But that is the case for all other teams not named UNC.
That's right.
But it will be interesting in how this matches up, because I think the UNC style of playing that 3-5-2 and how the 3 in midfield for UCLA handle that, and the pressure that we know UNC will have, I think, more success bringing, and how again UCLA manages that and solves that is going to be another interesting issue, because Alabama has had a really hard time of getting anyone on the ball and pressing.
Yeah, they've not been able to play the game that has gotten them, the style that has really gotten them here, that hunt, press. That's all credit to UCLA in the way that this team has defended and controlled possession, controlled the midfields.
And it's going to be quite a chess game, because you have 2 outside backs, and UCLA, as we've seen tonight, who love to get forward. You have the wing backs from North Carolina. Do they get pinned back because of that? How does that midfield shape up? That's going to be a good one on Monday.
Wright still running hard, trying to get herself onto the end of the ball. She's had a good game too for this very balanced UCLA team. 3 goals by 3 different players. It's par for the course. 18 different goal scorers for the Bruins on the season.
That's amazing. It really is.
Sherepka wanted a target in the box. Parker tripped up a couple of times, just nothing left there to go for the ball. We know what this season meant to her, coming back, as we said, after missing last season, and it's been a record-setting year for her individually and for the team. Also the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year, along with being the Forward of the Year. And her mark has been made. She has been a part of this legacy that has been established this year for Alabama. Disappointment tonight, though, in a really impressive performance by the UCLA Bruins. This ball sneaks through, but it is offside. Got a little smile there from Coach Awazaza on the sideline.
Coach Awazaza has not gotten up. I love that about her. How many coaches do you see
It's true.
that aren't pacing on the sidelines? There's no way I could do that if I was a coach.
That's not surprising, I have to tell you.
I couldn't do it. Just to sit there. It's like, you know, give me a margarita on the sideline. That's nothing like.
That's
She's
not
like,
allowed either.
She's got an umbrella in that drink. She's chilling. Little sunscreen.
Well, she's trying to do what no first-year head coach has ever done before. That's win a national championship in her first year as a head coach.
Yeah, a reminder, first year as a head coach.
It's a pretty high bar.
Pac-12 Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
It's been okay. For the record, I got one of those chairs that has the full-on lounge. You know, when I watch the kids play?
Okay, yeah. Oh.
You know, with the, you put your feet up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wondered where
That
you were going.
calms me down a little bit, so that I'm gonna get Marguerite one of those.
So she can recline?
Yeah, she can have her feet up. All it's missing is the remote control.
One more save to be had for Brickwall Brisky. But some smiles perhaps sneaking onto the faces of this UCLA team as they get ready to go back to the national championship game. North Carolina Tar Heels salivating for the rematch. They lost 2-1 North Carolina in the regular season after leading the match on their home field. North Carolina, #1 in the country at the time. They ceded that #1 ranking to UCLA. Maybe one last shot here for Alabama. No, let's give another save. Brisky keeping it out, holding the shutout. UCLA into the final.
3, the Alabama Crimson Tide 0.
You see the sadness on Riley Parker's face, but what a career, as we mentioned, she's had. And what a game for UCLA. Very professionally done. One step closer to that national championship.
UCLA back in the final for the first time since 2017 as Alabama's historic run comes to an end here in Cary tonight. It's been a great night of soccer here from Wake Med Soccer Park in our Women's College Cup semifinals. We'll come back, wrap it all up, get you set for Monday in a moment. This second semifinal tonight belonged to the Bruins. The first one went the way of the hometown North Carolina Tar Heels, and there you go. We're getting ready for our national championship as UCLA celebrates a 3-0 victory over Alabama. 1 goal in the first half, 2 in the second, got the job done for the Bruins.
McMahon coming across, finds Turner on the slot. And it was all UCLA in this game. Again, McMahon, this is the left back, mind you, striking this one off of Macy Clem, takes the deflection, Clone can't get on it, and then it's the right back, Desiano with the 3-0 goal for UCLA.
It is a balanced team, as you just saw right there. The 2 outside backs heavily involved in the scoring tonight, setting up this match between North Carolina and UCLA. They did play in the regular season in Chapel Hill. The Bruins upsetting the then top-ranked Tar Heels to take the win on the road. What will happen in the rematch? The winner will take home the trophy. These two teams have met in the national championship before. You have to go back to 2000 for that one, and that was part of North Carolina's dominance. Now the Tar Heels have gone 10 years without a title. The UCLA last won in 2013. So, what you looking forward to?
I am so looking forward to how UCLA deals with the disruptive nature of UNC, because we saw today how they just manhandled Alabama in that sense. They just had no problem with it, played and passed. And so can UNC get some pressure on these players, disrupt them a little bit? And you know, with UNC, with second balls, winning in the box, they can score and punish you for little mistakes. And so I think that is going to be a great matchup on Monday.
We are looking forward to it. Hope you'll come back and join us for that one as well. Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern right here on ESPNU for the National Championship game. Coming up next, it's the 2003 Insight Bowl. Cal and Virginia Tech in that one. Our final in our second semifinal tonight, UCLA 3, Alabama 0.